In the early 1980s, Masterton was in need of a new library. The old one wasn't really fit for purpose, so a design was made and construction began. And over the course of several months in 1982, it was built. And in October of 1982, it was opened to great fanfare. But at the front entrance to the Masterton Library, another project was going on. Now, the Masterton Waipoua Lions Club put in a time capsule, and there were contributions from local businesses, local families that put things into it. It was going to be sealed with the idea that it would be opened on the 50th anniversary of the Waipoua Lions Club. So the time capsule was sealed, was covered over, and became a garden. And over the next 4 decades, people walked past it on their way to get their books from the library. Until some 4 decades later, when I was going through the microfilm on newspaper and came across the article that talked about it. Masterton Waipoua Lions Club time capsule was to be open on June 2nd, 2025. This was at the end of 2024, so I started planning the opening of it.
Looks like a big peanut butter jar, doesn't it?
I thought it was coffee.
Bruce, how big jar?
Was anybody
Plastic one, so.
remember it?
So, what year was it, Mark, when they
1982.
went down 82? Yeah.
August of 82, I think it
Right,
was.
yep.
I was here when this happened,
Yeah.
but this was a couple of years before.
Yeah, it was before it was opened, so because we could see from the photos that there was nothing inside yet. It was just an empty shell when they buried it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Feel like rolled up newspapers or something, don't it? Except for that.
That looks like
That one's got water.
That's got water in it, isn't it?
Brown water. Pretty sure that's it.
That's it. Yep.
So that's the only one doing it, no other minutes. It's a nice, cosy spot.
What's in it?
Well, I might be able to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Because they're probably still sealed, hopefully.
Hopefully so.
Adventurising rates,
This one's not so.
time
so it's good
periods,
shape.
1st of
What's
May,
that from?
1982.
Radio House.
Time period.
Oh goodness.
Oh.
We have something in the archive to play that.
We do, but
I don't know if it's
Yoke.
weird,
Was
but it's
it? I
really
didn't know there
weird.
was a yoke. Oh yeah, that's
I
not
don't
so
know
bad.
what this is.
You can always.
That's cool.
Yep, this is say
So
one.
it's an advertising copy.
yeah.
Coffee. Oh,
There's advertising sheets here.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was going to offer us that.
The bag that came out of the time capsule was in a pretty sorry state. Water had infiltrated pretty much all of it, so it then had to be taken apart, obviously drained. See the lovely colour of the water coming out of that. It's a very fun project. So quite a few of the records were in individual plastic packets, but again the water had got into most of those. Some of them had survived dry, but probably at least half of them water had got in there, and it was a matter of very slowly taking away the plastic wrapping and extracting these records to try and work out how on earth can we save them. Here they are, slowly being taken apart. You can see there's grit and there's dark staining and that lovely brown water all over all of them. So the first processes with separating them was just to wash off the grime, wash off the brown water, whatever it is, and then start to separate them out. Then it was a very painstaking process of taking this wet paper and taking it all apart, taking apart the photographs, taking apart the records. There were some coins that were in there. They also needed to be cleaned up a little bit. They had degraded, they'd started to rust. And once the records had been all separated, you could then, on a low setting, use your iron and flatten them out. This would also help with some of the drying process, and then add them to the pile. And after several days and several repetitions of that, the records were dry and they were saved. Every single letter was saved. Every single record was saved. Some of the records that came out of the time capsule are interesting. I only really looked at the non-personal ones. All of the letters, all of the photographs, I left them alone. Those are for the families, those are for the families' eyes. I didn't look at them. But the other ones, the newspapers, are quite interesting. Obviously Rocky Balboa was big, Ronald Reagan was president. You can see what prices were like in 1982. It's a fascinating window into what it was like then. Especially this one saying what the salaries were like, the hourly rate, what milk cost, even 31 cents a pint. Or beer, $1.60 a jug. It's been a while. And then there was the coins as well. Every single one of these is now obsolete. We don't use any of them. And Prince William had just been born, same year as me. And then there was the cassette, which, despite some reservations, was able to be digitized.
This news item was broadcast from station 2ZD of the New Zealand Broadcasting Corporation's Radio New Zealand commercial network on Tuesday the 10th of August 1982, when the hoardings around the library building were removed and people of Masterton were first able to have a direct look at the library, which was scheduled to open on the 2nd of October. The identification ends.
Then there was this. It's a bird's nest of 1/4-inch tape. It had originally been on a reel. The reel didn't fit into the jar, so they just took it off the reel and just jammed it in there. And despite what it looks like, I was able to go through and digitize that. And there are definitely some people that have said they wished I'd left it buried.